Oh, whoops! I was muted. Anyway, I'm really pissed right now because I walked in the snow about 2 miles just to get myself a pint of Ben and Jerry's ice cream that cost $6 and my medication. I came back. Oh yeah, and beer too. But okay, so I came back with all that stuff, and when I got into my house, I realized I did not have the bag of the Ben and Jerry's ice cream, which is what I wanted more than any of that. And I don't know if I fell in the snow. I don't know if I left it inside, but I am really mad because I could have sworn I grabbed all of that. I grabbed every single fucking bag of stuff, and it is not here, and I am frustrated. How's everyone doing this evening? Ready to continue our discussion on the debate?
Yeah, I just got back from a nice dinner out in Naples, and it was really nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Coronas, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm prepared. I still have like the fuck ton of notes that I took in advance.
Nice. Allie, George, Cuckalupidus or whatever.
I'm doing fine.
What everyone do besides our friend based waifu. What did everybody do in the 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, however many hours between part one? And
I had rice and vegetable stew for dinner.
Based.
Pretty good.
Okay, cool.
Better than what I ate. I had what was it called? Like Korean style ramen noodles, like the instant kind that's like 90 cents because I'm cheap like that. And Starbucks coffee. Like it's a weird ass combination, I understand.
Basic
that's what I end up doing.
Basic bitch white girl.
No, basic bitch college kid. The ramen noodles.
Okay, I never even ate ramen.
Starbucks.
I never even ate ramen in college, believe it or not.
Okay, then you must get.
I was going to go get ramen with a girl, and she canceled because something, I don't know. So anyway,
did you change your number?
No, she didn't. We're coworkers. So
I'm just kidding.
Anyway. Either way. Okay, so where does everyone want to? Do you want to continue with the analysis then of the rest of the debate? I know you said Coronas, you took notes.
Yes, that'd be great. However, I do not have timestamps. Based waifu, you are my only hope.
I'm not sure if I'll have the timestamps either.
What? Are you fucking serious? Oh boy. Okay.
I'll try.
Okay.
And I've tried, oh Lord, I've tried to watch this fucking debate.
Okay.
Kevin
Castley.
Okay, sorry.
I had one mojito and I feel nothing.
I had maybe 2 beers. I don't know. Okay, everyone ready?
I have a shot of vodka.
Everyone ready?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. You guys hear it? Everybody?
Yeah.
Yes. Hold on one moment.
Bro.
His face was like a foot.
He's trying so hard not to laugh.
Going to be moving on to the question stage. So the people on the shadow jury have prepared questions for each of you. We are going to go over that. You will each have a minute to respond to all the questions that are being asked. Do I make myself clear?
Yeah, 1 minute for each question. Okay.
All right. Okay. Kevin's face. So,
look at Kevin's face.
It's not even that funny, but your
He's trying so hard not to laugh.
What, the Crusader? No, there's an exact reason why, and I was going to do an intermission. Kevin didn't want me to because he didn't want to use music, even though it was music in the public domain. It was the music that they use. Well, I mean, it was going to be. I mean, it's old music. It's not like owned by them, but the music I wanted to use was the stuff. It was the intermission from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, the one that lasts like 30 seconds and it has
Oh,
like
God.
stupid ass music. Like, you know, the dun, 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 dun. I mean, we're using that for our intermission tonight. Like, I always use that for my intermissions. But either way, just want to say I'm back to being Rudyard Kipling again. So let's continue.
Hold on, I was sent them.
Coronis, send me the timestamps. Send
People are asking
me
what's
the
the
stuff
shadow
you
jury.
need, and I'll see if I have the timestamp for it.
Wait, what? The what?
Send me the scenes you need, and I'll see if I can find the timestamps for it.
Okay. Just message you? All right.
Yeah, just message me.
Okay.
I literally said at the very beginning, Shadow Jury, they're the ones who make the final verdict. They are 5 people. Just say the Shadow Jury is.
What the fuck is he laughing?
Consists of 5 people hand selected by me. None of them have ever interacted with either of you on the Political Pigpen before, or in my server or in my Discord server. None of them are Hawks. So they're judging based solely upon your guys' respective argumentation, like the arguments you guys are making. So there should be little to no ideological bias in that regard. And the way we're going to do this is, since there's 5 of them, 3/5. It's like 3/5 is
compromise.
Like at least 3/5. The person who gets
Oh,
at least
gosh.
3/5 of the votes wins.
I just realized that.
Yeah. Okay.
He'll be.
So, first question for Machiavellian Imperialist: How do you do you believe that it is impossible for someone who doesn't have the appropriate credentials to provide relevant, and pertinent data and discussion on topics that they do not have any credentials on?
Could you repeat the question again?
Do you believe that it is impossible for someone who doesn't have the appropriate credentials for them to provide relevant and pertinent data for discussion on topics that they don't have credentials on, regardless of how much they know about the topic? Basically, if they're a specialist, like let's say somebody's not a specialist in a particular field, yet they have a lot of knowledge on that subject, does their opinion matter?
Kevin, stop smiling.
I mean, okay, so if you're a specialist, like, I mean, okay, if you're so basically, if you're a specialist but no merit, right? No academic record, right? Basically.
Well, specialist implies that you have academic credentials, but
Okay, but like,
but more or less, okay. So somebody who's knowledgeable on a subject but has no, has no background, educationally speaking, on the subject.
okay, so
yeah.
I don't know what Kevin's making.
here's
that
my
face.
opinion, okay? Like, there are many cases when people without actual background and like education who are successful, but I agree that it's sometimes harder for them to get in power in like the elites. But a lot of the reason is that education is essentially a signal. Like in game theory, we talk about signals, right? Signals is basically where like because again, education is a costly signal. You pretty much, if you attend college and do well, it shows you that you did well. But while people who are bad at it can't actually succeed, or if they're actually bad. But there are people, again, who may have other knowledge that they've demonstrated outside of their academic ability to show that they're actually better than those people. And Steve Jobs is one of those examples, okay? Or say, I mean, and like, I believe Elon Musk is another one. Not too sure. But like, they're not indefinitely barred from making public policy or finance.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, this is just the question. I think they both did pretty well on this part. I don't know if you guys agree, but at least on the questions, the one that really threw me off there was the question about, do you want to be feudalist?
Oh yeah, that was kind of weird.
that was
What?
pretty funny. Did you miss that part?
Wait, who asked
Do you
that?
remember that
can't
part?
tell us. I'm sorry. I forgot you.
Sorry, I have to explain to my
Me?
a couple of my fans like kind of just joined, so I'm kind of just explaining what the situation's about a little bit.
All of her fans like subscribe to me. I make cool stuff, and it's not just about politics. I also use if so you guys seeing generally what you guys are interested in. I made a video on foreign policy, and Totoro was in it. Just saying.
He also loves like Crusade and Templar stuff, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I've been reading a lot on the Meiji Restoration since I know you guys like Japan. So okay, anyway, that's besides the point. Okay, so timestamps. Everybody have timestamps? No.
I mean, I did want to address more about outsourcing.
Okay, yeah,
the
let's do that.
outsourcing timestamp, I think I might have, but
Okay, good.
what was the?
I know in
last
the
one?
previous part.
What was the
we
last
did
time?
It was like before 1:30. It was like I want to say, I forgot when they decided, when Kevin started questioning MMI on outsourcing. I don't remember when it was. I apologized. I should have came in here knowing every single when every single topic was brought up. Are we now? There was that part of the blood sports where Kevin was like, "Oh, MMI, these screenshots prove you're racist." Like, are we going to address that now, or are we going to address it during the drama aspect of the stream?
We're gonna address it during the drama aspect of the stream.
Okay.
Okay, so are you finding the timestamps?
I found. I'm slowly getting there.
We should just continue watching until she finds that timestamp, so she's not
What
pressured.
specific one? Oh, I just had it.
We're waiting.
I'm very sad.
Why did you lose these timestamps?
We had that's the is it the one I went to I used last time?
Okay, how about ISIS?
Yeah, the ISIS thing, maybe. That's the one I did find.
Yeah, we should discuss that.
If you can't find the timestamps, we could just actually have the discussion.
There we go.
Yeah.
Next, we're going to move on. We're going to be moving on to the.
Okay, there is a timestamp for
Specifically, you want to
20540 for ISIS.
It's in the private chat, so.
Okay, 20540.
That's where they talk about ISIS.
like here's the problem. You can use a lot of analogies to make it sound better, but you can't understand. Here's what a huge problem for you is that you don't take into account optics at all. I've literally done videos on like, oh, it's about my optics, but like, optics does come into play.
Okay, I have a question for you then, Kevin. You said that, okay, you also support working with Pinochet and like other human rights abusing allies. So
Oh,
yeah,
like,
but
I said based at exactly the same time as
not even
me on the
close.
okay, like that's like the continuum argument, right? Like you support in principle working with state actors.
When did
that have
Pinochet
bad
attack
actors.
America? ISIS literally attacks America, dude.
Attacks Russia. That's the thing, and it also attacks like
Dude,
other
but
states.
Dude,
threw
we have to have better standards.
He threw communists out of helicopters. That sounds cool.
No. Pinochet never attacked the United States. ISIS, yeah, they attack Russia. They also
Obligatory
attack America.
helicopter.
Like here's the thing: like if they attack us directly, then yes, we should retaliate. And in a lot of cases they did. Then yes, we should attack them back. It's sort of the same case with like Turkey invading Cyprus or Greece. Like yes, if Turkey, even though they're an ally, if they attack another ally, then that would be a case for an intervention against them.
Well, they're
But if
already
they
in Cyprus. They're already there.
But if
don't
they are
get
doing
started on
something
that
else,
shit show.
like for example, taking the Caucasus, why should we bat an eye? If
Okay.
ISIS is taking over Assad's territory, should we prevent them from doing it?
So wait, hold on a second. Does Kevin support Erdogan?
No.
I forget.
No, he
Here's
doesn't.
the one.
Oh gosh, I know the Cyprus situation's a mess. I was about to discuss it on my channel actually. I had a researcher from my channel, and oh my gosh. It's like basically Cyprus doesn't even want to really be a country.
Hmm.
But yeah, anyways, I know I don't know about Kevin and Erdogan. Hang on.
Okay, so basically Kevin thinks that Turkey should be kicked out of NATO. They should be kicked out of NATO, which I disagree with, because if we kick Turkey out of NATO,
wait,
for
no,
the reasons
Kevin is.
Kevin mentioned,
I remember now. Kevin is very anti-Turkey, very very anti-Turkey. Which
Yeah, but
I mean, I don't like
Turkey.
Turkey either, but I think it's a kind of a necessary evil to kind of because they have like the second most amount of troops in NATO, and we kind of need them.
Yeah, my stance on Turkey is that we can cooperate.
We're not talking
with
about
them.
our stances. Hey, Coronas, we're not talking about our stances on Turkey. We're talking about
Okay.
the debate.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I apologize. I got off topic. And anyway, no, I was saying about Kevin though is that he supports kicking Turkey out of NATO. That's how much he hates Turkey. But here's the thing: the reason
Does he prefer chicken?
no, but that's a really not
That
a
was a
wise.
dad. That was a. I'm gonna be a
Maybe-
good dad. I'm gonna be a good dad one day.
Maybe
But listen,
maybe
that
he
is not
supports picking it
wise.
up because he's hungry
That
for
is-
it.
That is unwise sentiment because if we kick Turkey out of NATO for the reasons Kevin wants to, they will just get closer to Russia. So you actually make them more.
Gonna
Yeah, I
ask that
agree.
way.
hmm That's where I think
Mhm.
the thing is with Kevin. The things that he wants to do to more or less combat these big major superpowers that are our enemies or our adversaries, the things he wants to do to these other countries that are smaller, slightly less adversaries or enemies that we're already very hard on. The thing is, if we do what he wants us to do to those countries, that's only going to drive them closer to those major superpowers that he says are even like continuing to sanction Iran. That's going to drive them right into the hands of Russia and China, which they're already sort of starting to go towards. But the thing is, we need to normalize relations with them. And because they'll realize, okay, they have a choice either to trade with the U.S. and affiliate with the U.S., or they'll have a choice to affiliate and trade with like Russia, for example. They have way more to gain from trading with the United States than they do with fucking Russia, whose economy is the size of Florida.
That's the reason why that the European Union, Britain, Canada, all these countries want the U.S. To pursue a better relationship with Iran. The only
Because Iran
country-
loves the West. Iran is not an anti-Western country. Iran just hates the U.S. and the U.K.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the only countries that don't want to like have a better relationship with Iran are the U.S. and Israel. That's basically what it boils down to.
I agree.
But,
Israel.
By the way, Based Waifu put up that you said you should go like earlier from like 202.23 up to 205.40.
Oh, 202. Okay.
Maybe I think you might have to go a little bit further back to get like the full thing. But yeah.
Example that the United States should support ISIS in Syria against Assad. Do you deny that? Do you take that back, or do you stand by that?
He
I
actually
think that we
thinks
should prioritize Bashar al-Assad. And if we do take out Bashar al-Assad, then yes, I support getting rid of ISIS.
Wait, but
That's
why
my
not
step
work
forward.
with somebody like the Free Syrian Army or something? Why?
They're not mutually exclusive. They're not mutually exclusive. Yes, obviously I support funding the FSA more than ISIS. FSA is the most benevolent actor in that region. But saying that we should ignore or like prioritize ISIS is not an argument that we should abandon the FSA. They're not mutually exclusive.
Okay, but why would you? But you don't understand that adding ISIS would be a net negative. That it would be a net liability, even just on the optics of it.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Like, yes, by the way, I don't support funding ISIS, but here's the thing, right? If ISIS does attack the SDF or the FSA, then yes, we should attack them back. But I'm saying that when it comes to offensive warfare, we should focus on territories that Assad occupies, because ISIS, as opposed to ISIS territories. And the reason being that ISIS targets a lot of actors and are a threat to everybody.
Dude, both
and
of their
Russia
opinions
has
are
an
absolute
incentive to target
shit.
ISIS if it also targets Assad. And on that note, and by the way, it's a lot like the collective action problem that you see like in modern economics, right? Because the international system is anarchic, right? And the only way to provide public good or public security is through a government, a world government. The same is it's like the military, right? We have the military as a public good because it's indiscriminate in its provision of welfare for the people. Like you can't. So that's one thing. So, and in a sense, climate is a lot like that. Like, okay, I know you make the point that climate change is actually good for Russia, but assuming that it's not, right? Assuming that climate change actually destroys everyone, it's essentially a public good / collective action problem. But the problem is that no state, because the international system is anarchic, there's no world government to like enforce other states to abide by this. Like Paris Climate Accord is very weak when it comes to enforcing this climate thing. And
good. It should be done away with, right?
Like it's the same thing with like terrorism, and I'm thinking of other or the coronavirus, right? Actually, not the coronavirus.
Okay, but dude, you're talking about working with ISIS. Like, here's the problem. You can use a lot of analogies to make it sound better, but you can't understand. Here's what a huge problem for you is that you don't take into account optics at all. I've literally done videos on like, it's about my optics, but like, optics does come into play.
Okay, I have a question for you then, Kevin. You said that, you also support working with Pinochet and like other human rights abusing allies. So
yeah,
like,
but Pinochet is better than ISIS. Pinochet is not even close.
Okay, that's like the continuum argument, right? Like you support in principle working with state actors.
When did Pinochet attack America?
Okay.
Yeah.
Comment.
So,
All right.
So it seems there are 2 points here that we should address, Politicrat. So that's basically, should we even be getting rid of Assad in the first? What the fuck was that? Okay, so should we even be getting rid of Assad in the first place? And 2, is it acceptable to, like, for example, ignore ISIS?
I am so sorry. Someone messaged me. That's my.
Was that Hitler?
It's just somebody
Yes.
going 99999.
That's Hitler. I've seen that movie.
Yes, it's a meme.
That's,
But yeah.
That happens
It
whenever
was
I
just
get
so
an
perfectly
email.
timed. It was
I'm
just so
sorry.
perfectly timed. But no, there are 2 points to address. Should we get rid of Assad? And if so, would it be acceptable to ignore ISIS for the sake of weakening Assad or even perhaps getting rid of him? And I had an interesting conversation with him.
Okay, sorry.
Oh god.
Okay. So, I actually had an interesting conversation with MMI before this. Damn it, I lost my train of thought. Thank you very much.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right. I just lost my train of thought now. So, I do have to ask. So, Ollie, his stance on ISIS was like the last straw for you. It was like the last straw for you, and that's what made you start siding with Kevin, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so the USSR, in many respects, was equally as contemptible as Nazi Germany. But do you think backing Stalin against Hitler was a good idea?
Well, yeah, because Hitler was like a whole lot worse in his intentions.
I'd say the only reason fascism is worse than communism is because fascism actually works.
Well, partially, yeah. I think that Hitler was worse than Stalin because he intended to kill more people than Stalin did. Hitler just never got the opportunity to do so because he lost World War II.
I mean, there is evidence to suggest that Stalin, I mean, he died before he got a chance to do that, but Stalin was basically planning a Holocaust times 100.
Well, yeah, Stalin
You're
wanted
talking about the doctor's plot, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
So Stalin actually wanted to start a nuclear war, but I'm glad that he died before he got the chance to actually do that. You know, I'm glad he died before the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah. Oh God.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, because if he was still alive
Khrushchev at least was like amiable and was
actually
willing to
sane.
compromise.
Yeah, he was
Khrushchev
actually
was
sane.
very sane. Khrushchev was actually, I don't agree with him politically, of course, but he was not a bad leader.
Yeah, the thing is,
for what was going on at the time.
Stalin, he thought that a nuclear war with the U.S. was inevitable. So if he was alive during the 60s, he probably would have started World War III. So it's good that he died, basically.
Okay, now I remember what I was going to say. So basically, MMI argued that ISIS was technically a neutral state because they opposed both Russia and the United States. Would you disagree with that analysis that they were technically like
neutral? They weren't neutral to us. They weren't neutral. They just hated both of us.
They
hated everyone. They hated everyone beyond their borders.
Yeah, they attacked both us and Russia.
I still think we should have limited our presence there and let Russia take them out. It's minimalizing our own casualties.
Well, I mean, ISIS wouldn't be there if
we hadn't invaded Iraq. They wouldn't be there if we hadn't invaded
They wouldn't
Iraq.
be there if we hadn't destabilized Syria. I mean, I don't know, I guess we can. That's aside the point. We're here to talk about the debate. That's aside the point.
Yeah.
Ignore my point.
Yeah, but the thing is that we're talking about the points that both debaters made, and this gets into why should we even be involved in attacking Assad in the first place? And I have 3 reasons why. If Politicrat, you permit me, I go over them. This is MMI and I compiled this list essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yeah, go over.
Okay. So there are 3 reasons why we should get rid of Assad. First of all, if we get rid of Assad, we are depriving Iran of a geostrategic ally. Second, Assad is a national security threat as he supports terrorists who oppose Western interests, including... What the fuck? Come on, God-based wife. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. Hang on 1 second.
Just turn off your phone.
Yeah, just turn off your phone.
Yeah, I'll put it on mute.
Okay. This is so bad timed. So anyway, here are some terrorist organizations that Syria supports. Hezbollah, Iraqi insurgents, Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine General Command.
Fun fact, Ilhan Omar is probably owned by Hamas. And I legitimately believe
definitely.
that.
I dislike Omar. I dislike Omar.
None of those countries seem to pose a threat to the United States, but a country related to the United States.
To our allies, including Israel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's because you don't understand the importance of our alliance with Israel. I don't like the Israeli government. I think Netanyahu is...
What is the... Okay, yes. Why is Israel an important ally to us?
Trade and being able to exert our influence over the Middle East.
Honestly, out of all the Middle Eastern countries, I support Israel for the sake of realpolitik. That's pretty much it.
Okay, in terms of realpolitik, when you think about the FBI considering Israel as a counterintelligence threat on the same level as Russia or China?
Well, I actually don't know anything about that. I'm gonna have to look into that.
Okay, Politicrat, but what are the reasons why you?
Okay, this is okay. You know what? This is my fault. This is my fault. Let's get back to the topic at hand. I'm muting myself until you finish going over whatever the fuck it is you're going over.
Yeah. So those are terrorist organizations that specifically oppose Israel. Fine.
The Iraqi insurgents, to give you a point, I'm just going to say, to concede a point, Iraqi insurgents did kill American soldiers, so that's valid.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one point. They did back the Iraqi insurgents, but so did Iran. Syria tends to agree with Iran's foreign policy objectives. Assad is a geostrategic ally of Iran. So that's why I made point number 1, and point number 2 is just an addition, an appeal to emotion, rather, because terrorism is obviously awful. And third,
when the state doesn't do it.
Third, we want a regime that's more friendly towards Western interests, so we have more control over their natural resources, including oil. And that's the third point. And those are the 3 points as to why me and MMI support toppling the Assad regime. You can also make the humanitarian argument that Assad gasses his own people, like Saddam Hussein did.
Yep.
But yeah.
Well, then...
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to push back here. Jimmy Dore told me that Assad did not gas his own people.
Well, oh my God! Did you see?
That's
getting topic.
In this case, I mean, I know the answer already. Saudi Arabia is our ally, but why haven't we toppled the al-Assad family for their facilitating the humanitarian crisis in Yemen?
Literally, I think it would be better if there was we restored a 9th century caliphate.
Honestly,
that would be preferable than the House of Saud.
honestly. Well, I'm not sure. Well, what do you think is worse, like Assad or ISIS?
ISIS.
ISIS by far.
You think ISIS is worse than Assad?
No, I said the House of Saud.
Oh no, Assad, not ISIS, not House of Saud.
Yeah, she said Assad. Who do you think is worse, Assad or ISIS?
Oh yeah, ISIS is worse.
Than Assad?
Yes.
I mean, I would think that they're about on a similar level because, I mean, they both kill a bunch of people.
Well, they both kill civilians.
We're all IR nerds here. Welcome to international relations. People die.
Yeah.
China lied. People die. Oh, did you hear? By the way, just
we're getting way off topic. Like you mentioned,
briefly
Yemen,
go off
Yemen?
topic. Did you hear that they found out it's actually? So I had this theory from the very beginning. The moment COVID started, I'm like, this shit started in a lab. Come on, this shit's like a bioweapon. And then the media. So then I think Tom Cotton came out and said that the media called him a conspiracy theorist, and now they're just finding out that it likely came out of a lab in Wuhan.
I thought they said that a while ago. I mean, I think
Within
they
the
were
past month.
I think they were like researching diseases because the type of bat that normally contains this virus is like known for being a very ideal test subject. And I think someone at that lab just didn't wash their hands well enough.
Careful, politicrat, because early on, Google was like getting rid of people who were saying that this virus came out of a lab. So just be careful about that.
Who was?
Oh, Google was deplatforming people for saying what Politicrat just said.
Yeah, so I'm just saying be careful.
No, he's going to deplatform someone with like 300
Hey, no, I'm not saying
subscribers.
I'm not even saying it came out of a lab. I'm just saying that they are saying now that it could have. I'm taking a neutral position in terms of how I'm wording
this was a thing like a long time ago.
So, Coronis, you're going to make a point about Yemen, and actually, I realize that my point about Yemen is whataboutism, but still, like taking umbrage.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. This is getting kind of off topic because Yemen is like a completely different subject, and I'm not prepared to discuss that because I have researched a topic, but I think maybe we should have like a different stream for Yemen.
Yeah, because I think we're kind of getting off topic. Aren't we supposed to be talking about?
We should do a Middle East stream. We should do a Middle East stream sometime. So once we get to the hour mark, we're gonna start talking about the drama. Is
okay?
Good? Yeah.
Okay. Wait. There are two other points. So Based Waifu produced two more timestamps. So 56 for outsourcing.
56 for outsourcing. I'm going there now.
By the international community, the UN, is a protectionist to sanction North Korea. No, it's not. It's forcing them into autarky. It's forcing them into extreme protectionism because they can't trade. And you've admitted that there is no functional difference between being completely sanctioned by everyone and willingly tariffing everyone. All you said was the only difference is that one is self-inflicted and the other is well, not self-inflicted. So, again, North Korea has to be the most functionally protectionist country in the world, on the planet, given that there's not a single country besides China and some other minor countries in South America, South Asia, that has an active trade relations with it. It's the same with Venezuela, which was slapped with sanctions and economically isolated from trading. So you're not a protectionist for calling for not trading with China. You're a hawk for doing it. It's not a protectionist to call for sanctions. It's pro-imperialism to call for sanctions because you're forcing another country into protectionism, essentially. Here's the problem, and you've admitted
there's no functional difference between these.
There is no functional difference in the questioning.
Oh shit! He's just used my word.
However, if you believe that we should be protectionists, protectionism at its most extreme calls for trade barriers to other countries. The irony is that protectionism is a form of self-sanction. You're essentially telling the international community to not trade with you.
Kevin knows he was completely owned in this part.
A smart strategy, though, would be to economically isolate or force countries such as China into protectionism, while the U.S. stays economically isolated. Economically engaged with the rest of the world. So, here's the logical inconsistency in your argument. Okay, you have admitted.
Remember, we are not currently rebutting the other's argument. You are presenting your argument. Thank you.
Yes, I am. So you have admitted that that there is no consequential or functional difference between tariffing everyone.
Okay, let me. Oh wait, never mind. Okay, you keep going.
Between tariffing everyone and being sanctioned. What you've also said was, what actually, Politicrat, is there a separate rebuttal section after
There
this?
is a separate rebuttal section after the argumentation section.
You know, okay, fine. I'll move on then. So, moving on. So, going back to relative gains, so we have to ask ourselves, why is the United States staying economically engaged with the rest of the world, such as the EU, CPTPP, which is no longer a part of ASEAN? Why do you support the TPP? Why do you think? Do you support the? Well, I didn't ask you this, but it's to economically isolate China. Why do you think we did it? Did the Chinese economy improve or deteriorate under free trade capitalism by Deng Xiaoping? Okay, listen. We both agree that we want to weaken China. We both agree with that. Okay, that means that ideally speaking, we want to destroy their economies. That's what we want.
Point of order,
right?
Politicrat.
Hey,
he
please.
asked me a question. Do I get?
Yes, yes. I was about to say MMI. There are currently no asking questions.
Yeah, I'm not asking questions. Yeah, I'm not asking questions.
And then also,
can I say something
Kevin,
funny?
This is his time to speak.
Okay, but he asked me a question.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I find funny? Well, maybe
What
it's
do you
just
find funny? The women vote. No, I'm kidding.
no.
That's
I
not
don't know
funny.
why.
That's depressing.
I don't know why, but the mannerisms, like the way Kevin's like shaking his head and just staring at the and the way he's trying to articulate his points. For some reason, Kevin in this debate reminds me of Tucker Carlson.
Okay, I just want to point something out.
I actually kind of like Tucker Carlson. I mean, I don't agree with him.
Oh no,
so.
that's cringe, dude.
Okay, do you notice how MMI kind of sounds like Ben Shapiro?
Yeah, it's Tucker versus Ben.
Tucker Carlson versus Ben Shapiro 2.0.
Tucker, here, let me explain to you why circumcision is wonderful and you should do it.
Because as you see, I would not pick the cake, Dave, because it goes against my religion.
Yeah, I told MMI that last night.
Oh, did he hear that? Like, even now, Jordan Peterson is like starting to distance himself from Dave Rubin, and Dave Rubin was like his hype man.
I don't even know what's going on with him right now.
Who, Dave Rubin or Jordan Peterson?
Dave Rubin. I've been hearing a lot about him right now. But
dude,
yeah.
Dave, because he's a hack. I used to really like him, and now I really hate him.
I used to really like him too, and then his content got boring.
It's just yeah, we've had 2 streams just on like Dave Rubin alone.
Oh gosh.
I've heard that the dude is going to run for governor of California.
Oh God, he's going to lose so hard.
Really? Oh gosh. If he ran for like any other state, he might have a chance, but not California.
He's not even going to get the Republican nomination in California.
What are you guys' thoughts on him? I'm not sure if it's done or not, but what's your thoughts on Andrew Yang going against Cuomo?
Fucking big.
I support him.
He is? Oh my gosh.
Wait, what? Cuomo?
Yeah, Yang is running for Yang is running for governor of New York.
Mayor.
Holy
Mayor. I apologize.
Governor is Andrew Cuomo. He's not running against Cuomo because Cuomo.
He might actually.
My apologies.
I
was confusing too.
Dude, Yang needs to win. Like Yang would be.
Yeah, Yang does. De Blasio.
The thing is, like nobody likes De Blasio.
Listen,
De Blasio is a fucking idiot. Like he is actually like a low IQ
really
Untermensch. He's a
fucking
this
coronavirus, so he could really.
Look, dude,
De Blasio is like a fucking Untermensch. Like
I said in part one. I said in part one that I'm an establishment Democrat, but like there are some Democrats I dislike, and De Blasio is one of them. Not even people who I know in real life who are pretty liberal like De Blasio. Everyone across the political spectrum hates De Blasio. Nobody likes him.
I thought De Blasio was socialist or working families.
No, he pretends to be a progressive, but he's like a corporatist centrist hack who pretends
So
to be
the,
progressive.
so the thing is, when
He also hates education. He also hates
How's that
students.
beer?
Oh yeah, as I was saying, when he ran, he actually ran to the left of Bernie Sanders when he ran for president.
Oh, we need to run for president. Give Medicare to all.
I'm gonna take away all your money and give it to the poor bastard sitting next to you.
That doesn't sound. That sounds like a 1930s movie character. That doesn't
I know
sound
my
like Bernie.
voice isn't deep enough.
We need to defeat the capitalist pigs and eat the rich.
That's it. You know, you always hear about people. Oh, these socialist countries are so bad because people are waiting in line to get bread. That's a good thing.
Okay, that actually sounds better. Yeah. Did he actually say that's a good thing? Because that's
Yes,
so
he did.
cringe. It's cringe.
It's a good thing because in capitalist lines, you actually there's no bread to give out, and that way everyone just sits and starves.
Because you have to pay for it. I don't want to pay for anything. I've never held a real job in my life. Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah.
And then proceeds as if I answered yes.
Well, okay. Then,
Okay,
and I also want to say, MMI, everything that you should be saying right now should be worded as a statement.
I kind of don't like
Okay,
that
so
I did that.
we support the TPP
I feel like I did that for no reason.
to economically isolate China. And we both, well, at least by your opening statements, you have alluded to weakening other countries. And that's a good thing. If China were to go jack shit poor, that would be a good thing. And on the other hand, its economy grew under Deng Xiaoping, so it improved. And under Deng Xiaoping, they pursue free trade, and their economy improved because of foreign capital and all that. So do you want a China that is pro free trade like it is? Well, that's not a question. Oh, yeah.
Worded as a
So
statement,
I do not
please.
want. Yeah, so we don't want a China that is pro free trade like it is, considering that Maoist China was an autarkic economic system. Again, with this in mind, quit bickering about trading with China as an argument against neoliberalism and an argument for protectionism. Extreme protectionism weakens a country, and that is why we put sanctions. The point of sanctions is to drive them into protectionism, but forced. Except that they're not being protectionist; they're being forced into it. It's not self-inflicted.
Again, this is where McCarthyist is 100%
Also, it is
correct.
rational to still trade with a recalcitrant trade on relative grounds as well, relative gains as well. Like if we assume that China is willing to give $1,000 for a piece of rock, then yes, we should be trading with them. Like that's why relative gains is an objective concept. Like you can argue that no, that is not the case. Well, yeah, like I agree, it's not the case. But however, there is a case when relative gains.
Okay, so here's where I'm going to call out Kevin, right here. I haven't called him out much this stream. I've called MMI out more than I have Kevin in this analysis. But Kevin, those faces and stuff he's making, I think that was uncalled for. I'm like,
It just reminds me of Tucker Carlson, where like
not even Tucker Carlson does that though. No, but it's just like he's doing
like
it
he
forced.
laughs. Like when some people make certain claims, he'll like
yeah,
laugh.
he is like Tucker Carlson. He does make those douchebag faces.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I say Kevin in this debate.
Tucker Carlson's a lot more funny. Tucker Carlson's a lot more funny. Like
He's under no Tucker Carlson. The thing is, Tucker Carlson actually does not. He actually admits he's not a journalist. He admits he's an entertainer, and he said he was like a theater kid or something. He's just there. He's an entertainer.
Oh no, not to mention though,
That
Tucker Carlson also once said in an interview in like 2006 that he only works for like Fox News because he's bored. He's actually a trust fund baby. He only does Fox News because he's bored. He doesn't actually have to work. He just wants to.
Yeah, I respect that 100%.
I mean, though sometimes the way he just looks at people when they're just going on, he's just like,
Yeah. No, I've actually met him in real life, just like out in public randomly.
oh my God,
I
really?
recommended. Okay, guess what? You're gonna laugh. Guess what book I recommended him?
What?
Oswald Spengler's The Decline of the West.
You recommend everyone that book. To be fair.
Yeah, you recommended that book to me today.
I did, didn't I? Okay, let's continue.
But so that's another thing. So on elitism, my point on elitism, again, is essentially lies on the idea that academically qualified people and individuals with the most merits and credentials ought to dictate public policy. You've said otherwise. I've said in open debates. You've brought up other Twitter statements out of context. That's a logical fallacy. However, just anyways, in response to this, like before, you've pretty much said, would you take a malfeasant economist with 20 years of experience over well-meaning, well-intentioned farmer who might not have the same educational background? That was your response to the meritocratic elitism argument. Okay, that is a terrible counter argument.
Okay, this is outside of outsourcing.
When you're
So I think the
comparing two
point's been made.
ideologies,
Hold
such
on.
as populism and elitism, you're
Okay. What were you saying?
So yeah, there's one more timestamp that's at 2913, but I want to get in this first. So this is outsourcing, and I want to say this uninterrupted. This will only take like a minute to say, and then we can have a conversation about it before we move on to like the last timestamp.
Okay. And
Is
then,
that okay?
then after that, when you're done with that, and when we finish that part, we'll move on to the last timestamp, and then we're going to take an intermission, and then we'll come back and talk about. We'll have drama alert.
Epic. Okay, so yeah, free trade or outsourcing rather, because outsourcing is an element of free trade that Kevin detests. But here's the thing: he says outsourcing is bad for the economy, like he claims it destroys jobs. However, despite a recession, I forgot the date, but I gave my source in the private chat, and it's from John Stossel. I hate John Stossel.
You don't like John Stossel? I like John Stossel.
I mean, I like
That's the
some of
guy
his
who runs
points,
Reason
but he's
TV.
too libertarian.
He doesn't run. He doesn't run Reason TV. He just has some videos on there.
Yeah, he
But
did
no,
He
on
has
Reason.
a
The thing about
lot
John
of videos
Stossel-
on there.
The thing about
He-
John Stossel is I like a lot of his points, but I also think he's too libertarian for my liking.
I do like how he always plays the devil's advocate in arguments, though. Like even
Oh, yeah,
when
he
he's
does.
even when he's interviewing people he agrees with, he uses the counter argument of the other side. I respect him.
Yeah,
for that.
I will give him credit for that. I like him as a person. I just don't agree with him on a lot of issues. But that's just
Well,
me.
fair enough. Fair enough. Okay.
Okay, so he mentions in the video that I put in the private chat, maybe you can post it in the stream chat on YouTube, but basically, I think the video I linked was made in 2007. So for over the span of 12 years, we lost 361 jobs, but we gained 380 million. So despite outsourcing, and not to mention, the people who outsource the most tend to be big corporations, and they're the ones who supply the most jobs to people. So we are creating more jobs than destroying through outsourcing. Now, I can already hear the response, which is basically, but the jobs it creates are low skill, like retail and fast food, and they don't pay well. Well, here's the thing, and this is going to be a really hot take, but I want to give some historical context. So, Politicrat, you've heard of the Luddites, right?
Yeah.
So in the early 1800s, because of technological progress, many workers, desperate workers who lost their jobs because of the machinery, engaged in what is known as frame breaking. They were destroying the machinery and became really violent, like mob violence, until the House of Lords rendered this act a capital offense. So I can understand why people who are like suddenly unemployed because their jobs have been shipped overseas or they're being taken away by machines, I can understand the panic. I can be sympathetic. But the thing is that regardless of what happens, this is just a market. When you lose your job or your skill is rendered useless, you have to learn another skill. It might be tragic, but you just have to learn another skill. So welding, plumbing, coding, nursing, there's
Oh
so
God!
many
You just said you said you added coding for a reason.
Yes, I did. But there are many alternatives to, say, coal mining that I would argue pay more than
Welding.
coal mining. And you know what? It's inconvenient to have to learn a new trade, but that's just basically be the responsibility of being an adult in a market economy. And also the whole, oh no, these coal miners are losing their jobs because of what Biden's been doing or because of outsourcing. Well, this is not an argument for protectionism. This is an argument for better unemployment insurance and ensuring that vocational school is free so they can easily and quickly learn a new skill that might even pay more than what they did before. Yeah, so welding, plumbing, coding, nursing, various other jobs that they could learn a skill. And that's my take. It's a hot take, I know, but if you lose your job because of outsourcing or because of technological advances, you have to learn a new skill. It sucks, but that's just life.
Well, retraining, there's been some evidence on the efficacy of retraining, and it's pretty dire. So I don't know. I think this glib response of just learn to code is it's not going to cut it for a lot of people. And
How about learning to code, like maybe learning to weld?
Well, no, even then, like again, I say like retraining.
It's also kind of insensitive, I think.
So that's not really the point. The point is like,
I mean, listen, if we're going to take this logic of, well, if you're going to make an appeal to emotion that because these people are losing their jobs, we have to protect them, you might as well be a neo-Luddite and advocate for restrictions on automation, which would be stupid. You know, it's inevitable that these jobs are going to go away as technology progresses, for example. And
I'm saying
there's really no other way. Like, and this is also an argument for UBI, I would argue, because even if you're kind of right. There is a case to be made on retraining, but this is also a case for UBI and better welfare in general.
No, I'm saying that retraining. There's been some evidence that retraining isn't effective. And so I think you're not taking the issue as seriously as it should be considered. And, you could say that there's an emotional appeal. Well, there could be another Trump. I mean, I know you guys, I think everyone here doesn't like Trump. And so just imagine like another Trump coming about. I mean, there are plenty of narcissistic populists in this country to be another Trump. And I mean, if the establishment screwed up
There's
once,
definitely going to be another Trump. Like, I can't see it not happening. Tucker Carlson,
so I think,
but
I think this issue needs to be
a dangerous precedent. And the reason why this sets a dangerous precedent, okay, so de Blasio, when he ran for president, he unironically advocated for imposing restrictions on automation, like financially punishing corporations that invest in artificial intelligence and automation. Now,
so I agree with you.
So I'm going to say for the sake of argument that retraining, I'm going to concede your point that retraining doesn't work. That is not an argument for, protectionism or restricting automation. That is an argument for a better welfare state, particularly either a negative income tax or a universal basic income. So everyone, even if they lose their job, are not going to starve to death.
Well, yes,
losing their job.
I believe that protectionism could, if it serves a greater interest, like strategic. So like protectionism to like serve a strategic end or as a negotiating tactic. I think you'd agree that's valid.
You mean trick people into thinking that they're going to implement protectionist policies, but they're really not? That's very Machiavellian of you.
Well, I mean, that's one way to do it, but I mean, just having like protectionism.
He might be Machiavellian, but he's not a McCarthyist Imperialist.
Okay, so MMI kind of pointed out during the debate that the lower marginal costs that result from outsourcing and automation would increase enough consumer and producer surplus that could be taxed and redistributed to the people who were laid off. So kind of going along with like Coronis's like welfareism argument.
Yeah, I think welfareism.
The reason why outsourcing and automation, or the reason why MMI supports outsourcing and automation, which would decrease cost per production. So it drives down prices, thus making consumers better off, and producers are better off also due to higher profits.
It's kind of interesting. I got to add this very quickly, but MMI has he essentially believes that this is inevitable. Like, you've read The Soul of Men Under Socialism, right? Politicrat. You've read that essay by Oscar Wilde.
I actually have not. I've read the picture of Dorian Gray. I've read his plays and the picture of Dorian Gray. Dorian Gray is one of my favorite books.
In The Soul of Man Under Socialism, or just The Soul of Man simply, Oscar Wilde argued that machinery could eventually replace human labor, so people have more time to, like, for example, dedicate their time to the arts. So now you can argue in real life that sort of society would resemble WALL-E, but what MMI believes is that
not everybody
eventually automation.
No, No,
Not everybody
let me
is
finish what-
creative or has those has that intuition. I believe
MMI basically advocates for an elite version of what Oscar Wilde advocated for in The Soul of Man, where automation and artificial intelligence pretty much does all the jobs humans originally did, and the government would redistribute all the wealth created by that automation and AI so people don't have to work anymore. And he actually called it, unironically, utopic, because he couldn't think of another word to describe it, but he believes
sounds like
he
Brave
really-
New. This sounds like Brave New World.
I don't.
he detests the term fully luxurious
sure if he
automated
really argued
communism,
for-
but he thinks it's kind of
Curtis,
inevitable.
I don't think that. I'm not sure if he argued for that, but I mean, he kind of talked about this actually during the debate. Basically, I think he severely disagrees that outsourcing increases jobs. Nor I don't think he doesn't think that's a legitimate argument that low-skilled workers can just simply learn a new skill. I think mostly it's just that the positive effects outweigh the negative effect the positive effects of outsourcing outweigh the negative effects that outsourcing has on.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I'm going to ask George one more question about that retraining study before we go to the last timestamp. So, George, does that study you're mentioning?
Shit! I'm sorry, I don't have the study on hand. If you want,
Okay.
If you want to ask like a specific question, I can't answer it. I apologize.
Okay. All right, that's fine. I was just going to ask if that study took into consideration the cost of retraining, because college and even vocational schools, to my knowledge, are really expensive. So even if you can pay it off over time, the cost of attending school in this day and age is so expensive that people are incentivized to not learn a new skill. That's why I advocate for free vocational training. But did that study take into account the cost of retraining?
I don't think it did. I just got the abstract that it wasn't effective enough, as people who are saying this line of, oh, well, we'll just put them into other fields.
Okay. Because I would argue that's a flaw in the study, because education in general, like even vocational school in the US, is outrageously expensive. And I could see why someone who's like unemployed would not want to take financial risk in learning a new skill, considering the cost. So yeah,
School in the U.S. is way too expensive.
That's true.
So
that's another story.
So this might be surprising coming from me. I'm more of a, well, I think politicrats outed me as a social national.
You're like a center right social. I'd say you're like a center right social democrat.
Yeah, like a nationalist social democrat. So this is an interesting idea to come out for me. What I think is going to happen is that these people are just going to like medicate themselves to death or like drink themselves to death. They're not actually going to. The few that do like retrain are going to escape this deaths of despair. But I think by and large, the workers who don't like retrain to something meaningful, they're just going to like become precariat and like drink and drug themselves to death. And so we're just like talking past what's going to happen to them eventually.
That's sad.
Yeah. And the way capital is going, like, everything's going to become automated. That could be us one of these days.
Hopefully not.
My only concern about that.
As long if they have welfare benefits, it'd be different.
My only concern about that is we might end up like WALL-E, where we have so much food that we all become morbidly obese. But besides that one fictional example, yeah, it does sound like Brave. MMI is like what MMI thinks is going to happen is similar to Brave New World, isn't it?
Basically, what's going to happen is it's going to be a cross between Brave New World and A Clockwork Orange. You're going to have it's going to be like a Brave New World society on the top, but then at night on the streets, you're going to have all these bored kids running around, raping people and like beating people up, because that's the only way they could channel basically that energy they have, because they have that yearning to work.
So,
I mean, if they have welfare benefits, they won't.
What?
I mean, if they have welfare benefits, I think we could prevent people from like drinking themselves to death. It would be.
They're going to want to take out their urge in like more violent ways. That's my fear, because it's going to go back to sort of that primal instinct.
Are you saying you don't like Milk Plus? Just kidding.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna like we're all throwing movies out there and works of art. I think it's gonna look a lot like Requiem for a Dream. That where that family is destroyed by drug addiction. I think that's what it's gonna look like.
Oh, well, yeah, and I apologize for interrupting, Based Waifu.
No, it's fine.
Milk Plus from.
Again, the taxation from that newfound surplus alone could finance their entire welfare state. So,
Not to mention, MMI also argued that because automation and AI will make things so much cheaper, that we could live off $1,000 a year because like cars will be so fucking cheap. So there's like, that's why he says it's utopian. Now, keep in mind, he didn't say this publicly. He told me this personally. So keep that in mind. Anyway, let's go to the last timestamp. I apologize for taking this.
Oh, wait, hold on. I have a question. Did he say how much cat girl sex slaves would cost? Totally unrelated. Totally unrelated.
That would be a luxury. That would be a luxury.
Hey, did you hear about Did you guys hear about Nick Fuentes about how he's like dating a cat girl or something?
Oh
like
no,
that guy?
No,
I don't think
I don't think they were dating. They just had like a live stream together. Unless they actually are dating. I don't follow Nick Fuentes. I just know that there's that live stream where he like talked to Catboy Cammy.
So last timestamp.
Yeah, 2913.
And then we're gonna get into the drama.
We should get into the drama part now.
No, intermission then
Oh,
drama.
wait. Oh, Ali, what were your thoughts on what I said about retraining and all this other stuff?
I mean, I'm kind of like in between because like I get that it's hard to retrain a lot of people, but I agree with you that like there's really no other thing that can be done other than improving the social safety net.
All right.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yep.
Yes.
And we can start whenever you're ready.
So, one question: if you could sanction any country, which would you sanction?
Well, currently, out of all the countries that are around right now, I would answer at this point, essentially, would you consider first, let me ask, would you consider a blockade a sanction?
Just name a few countries.
Fine. I would say Russia and China because they have too many nukes.
Don't we already sanction Russia?
Okay. Why do you sanction them? And is it because it's bad?
Who hasn't sanctioned Russia at this point?
Is it to hurt Russia?
But we haven't sanctioned China.
Yes or no?
I could agree with him on sanctioning China potentially.
Okay, so you want to hurt Russia and China, so you want to sanction them. Okay. So another question. Do you agree that multilateral sanctions are more effective than unilateral sanctions? I'm not asking you whether we can pursue multilateral sanctions or whether or not they deal more economic damage. I'm just asking you whether they
really
deal more
talking
economic
fast,
damage.
isn't he?
Do multilateral sanctions more
I think we
effective
could all
in
agree.
crippling an
He's definitely
economy
on
than
Adderall.
unilateral
I
sanctions?
was too that night.
Yes or no?
If that particular country is totally globalized and involved with a ton of different trading partners, then yes. If they're already a target like North Korea, then no.
Okay, so another question. What's the consequential and functional difference between a country that tariffs every country in the world and inevitably tariffed back by every country in the world?
Okay, we got that part, right? You watched this part?
Yeah, we did that part the last stream.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on a second. So everybody, what we're about to do. What?
Oh, I was just going to add something about the China thing. I think so far, I think we're going to definitely impose sanctions on China if the Biden administration doesn't do it. Congress will approve of it because the U.S. officially recognizes what's happening in Xinjiang against the Uyghurs as a genocide. So I think it's inevitable that we're going to impose sanctions on China in the near future.
Yeah, Biden had a essay in the CFR journal about getting tough on China. So I think, despite the MAGA cope of China Joe, which is an awesome nickname, I think Biden's going to continue the hardening stance on China going forward.
Yeah, I really like his choice for Secretary of State and CIA director. I think Biden's administration has already been based, and I'm looking forward to what he has to offer.
Did you hear Blinken? I'm so sorry about interrupting, but did you hear like Anthony Blinken totally school Rand Paul?
What happened to Rand Paul? He used to be so good.
Yeah.
No,
Anyway.
you don't need to apologize to me for interrupting because I've interrupted you like a couple of times. I apologize for that.
I know I'm from the Midwest. It's in my nature to apologize. So.
Okay, so what does everybody say about an intermission? Let's go till let's see, what time is it now? Let's go till 9:15 Eastern Standard Time. That gives us 8 minutes.
Okay, great. I'm gonna get some crab dip.
Okay, some crab dip.
I'm
All right.
hungry.
I'm gonna smoke some meth.
Okay, have fun. All right. Is everyone back?
I just got here.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's what's his name? So yeah, Ali had to leave in case any of you guys didn't know. So Ali left. Right as he left, though, Damnation showed up, who also takes the pro Castley position in terms of the argument. So either way, Coronas, you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Why?
George?
Hello.
Cool. Based waifu?
Ooh woo.
Hello.
No ooh woo.
Ooh woo.
No ooh woo.
Ooh woo.
No ooh woo.
Oh whoa.
Yes, Sue.
Okay. So drama. It's time for. Oh, hold on a second. Say something, guys. Like talk real quick. I need to do something. I need to pull up
Fuck
the
you,
graphic.
politicrat.
Why?
I don't know. You said talk.
You
That was like the first
you
thing that came out of
deserve
my
you
brain.
deserve to lose that ice cream. I'm just kidding.
What ice cream? When
Okay,
the fuck did we get ice cream?
So I walked
Still got
in the
free
snow.
ice cream.
I
Part of the
walked 2 miles
night.
in the snow to go get ice cream and my medication at the
Oh.
pharmacy. When I grabbed the bags and I was coming back out, but then by the time I got back to my house, I only had the 2 bags with my medicine and the food in it. The ice cream, I have no idea what happened to the ice cream. I don't know if I forgot the ice cream bag because I remember grabbing every bag, or if it fell out on the walk. I don't know what would have happened. Like, I am so pissed because it was like Ben & Jerry's Chunky Monkey, which is really good. And it's like, oh, fuck. At least there's snow outside, so maybe if I go on a walk tomorrow.
Well, first off, you fucked up by not getting Ben and Jerry's Cherry Garcia, man.
No, they had that one. That's my second favorite.
Pathetic.
I always alternate, but either way. Okay, so on that note, hold on.
The only problem is like the only people familiar with this drama are me and Based Waifu, and to an extent you, Politicrat, but not by choice. So I don't know how we're gonna catch the other.
No,
two
because
up to speed.
no. Okay, so we can. I mean, I think we can go for as long as like we need tonight. Like I don't have work till like 2 tomorrow, but yeah. So I'll let.
Yeah, when I was watching it, I kind of felt like there was a bigger drama dragon.
Oh yeah, there was
just this debate.
I was.
There was some heated bullshit.
There's like Castley trying to. I think he's somehow trying to put a wedge through our relationship. I don't know. And then there's a whole beef that I have with him after what all the shit he's been saying about me. How he's made like how many videos like just taking clips from our debate just to get some traction because I have like 22K subscribers and he's just trying to get in that. He's just trying to ride my coattails so badly.
Isn't that basically like what most start? What's the best way to put this? Struggling YouTubers do is they'll pick a big one and take a shot at him, right? Like isn't that what they
except Kevin
do?
except the thing is Based Waifu is small and Kevin Castley is really small. Like Kevin Castley, like roughly.
You never punch down, man.
Like,
you always
but
punch up.
I'm just saying, roughly, Kevin Castley and I are about the same size. Our channels.
So you never punch down. You always punch up, right? Because the idea here is that that bad press is better than no press, right? So it doesn't matter. It's the same idea that Trump operated under, right? There's a reason why he played the villain on Twitter. It was because he put his name came out of people's mouths, right? And because of the algorithms, the rage bait caused his message to go forward, right? And when you find somebody who has more subscribers than you and you just pick a fight, regardless, it doesn't matter if they respond and try to like blast you out. If they respond at all, it amplifies your message and people want to get involved in the drama, right? That's how it works. That's the unfortunate part is the more people that like rage bait click the fucking button, they get involved, and it's like, oh, look at this. Now I'm I don't know. I get kind of pissy about when I see that type of shit. Like
Yeah. I mean, there's a variety of different things, but I
So
like.
should I think. Oh, I apologize.
No,
go on.
continue.
No, I was just gonna say. I think the best way to understand the drama, understand that.
Story time. Okay. Who wants
Yeah,
to start it? We need to start at the very beginning, like Genesis.
Yeah.
Like
So I will go a little like a flashback sort of, and then we'll catch up to speed. So basically, what's interesting is that Kevin originally really liked MMI. In fact,
He literally said MMI's Twitter bio was base when he first met him. And now he talks about it like in almost every single one of his videos.
Guys, okay, so
you have the floor.
All right, so Kevin actually originally liked MMI a lot.
He was on every night.
He actually DM'd MMI like last year saying your bio is based. And MMI has a screenshot to prove it that Kevin originally really liked MMI's beliefs. Even his more extreme views were tolerable. But here's what caused it all to collapse. So a couple of weeks ago, so earlier this month, MMI somehow caught the attention of Shoe on Head. Shoe on Head and her fan base responded to MMI. And MMI was like having the day of his life, according to his girlfriend. Like he was like really happy. He was getting all this negative attention. But that's when Kevin was like, wait a minute, you have all these hundreds of people giving him attention and not me. And this guy has some pretty extreme views, in my opinion. So I'm going to distance myself from MMI so to make myself look good. So he basically backstabbed MMI for the sake of optics.
Well,
but literally, Kevin believes in fucking nuking people. That is like more extreme than anything MMI believes.
Yeah, MMI just said, like, quote unquote, oppress the working class. And that's what set Kevin off.
However, what I don't like, though, is that MMI gives Kevin shit for working in retail. Like, I mean, the thing is...
to be fair, he said that out of rage. He said that out of rage.
Dude, it's like MMI is in college. He's probably working retail or something along those lines. Like...
Yeah, he's not. He's not at the moment.
I will say this though.
Is MMI even employed?
Not at the moment. No.
Okay, then he has nothing to say about. I mean, I don't think.
I do want to say though that I think the whole "fuck the working class" or "oppress the working class" thing.
It's funny. It's fucking hilarious.
It's hilarious, but it's sort of like defund the police. Yeah, it attracts attention. It's edgy, so it attracts attention. But it's also really bad optics, and it will actually lead people to go against your cause. So it's funny. So fuck the working class is funny, but it's like defund the police. Defund the police made sense in New York City, where the police there are like millions of dollars, but it doesn't make sense anywhere else.
I'm literally for defunding the police and privatizing them. So anyway.
Okay, Cap. I'm just kidding. I mean, that's really all I had to say. I wanted to give context to the drama.
And now we're here.
That's a lovely picture of Shoe on Head.
I know. I tried to find the most flattering one I could find.
I was just giving historical context. I think, in my perspective, Kevin basically backstabbed MMI because MMI attracted the attention of Shoe on Head. He thought MMI made him look bad, so for the sake of optics, he decided to disassociate with MMI. But the thing is that
optics, it was all optics. This is even stupider than I thought. Okay, I always thought that this feud was stupid, but each time I learn something new about it, the more retarded it becomes. Like,
and Kevin needs to realize that MMI is.
I think it's on both of their ends. I think they're both idiots. But. No, yeah, I mean, I like both of them, but the thing is, I think that they're just—it's so petty. I'm sorry, it is just so fucking petty between them.
Yeah, but Kevin's just a hypocrite because originally he said MMI's bio, which hasn't changed at all since summer 2020, to my knowledge. He said MMI's bio was based, so he actually liked MMI's more extreme views. So he only decided to go against MMI because of Shoe on Head. Which
when did you and MMI start talking?
I started talking to him around October of 2020. I originally encountered him when he made that pin tweet, which he said was meant to piss people off. That
Wait,
Kevin likes to review.
October of 2020.
Yeah, like I
You knew him before then, like because I've known MMI longer than that.
Listen, but the thing is that my point is though is that like I
The
originally
term you guys are looking for is called kayfabe.
Yeah,
It's blown out bullshit of a feud, just like WWE is.
Oh
to
yeah,
get
it's
views.
entertaining as hell. It's entertaining as hell.
Right.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious. Like I really want to see them keep fighting, but I don't at the same time.
But the thing is that for some reason, Kevin decided to make this entire feud, which I will agree with you is absolutely retarded. He decided to take this really personally.
Yeah, I think Kevin does that. Kevin is taking this too personally.
Like Kevin seems to have like a thing about loyalty.
Like the
Like
thing
if
is,
you disagree,
no,
like,
I think MMI is more of an asshole, but I think Kevin is like more sensitive.
Wait, hang on.
my point is though is that like see here's the thing, like Kevin is all about loyalty. So like if you disagree, like if you get along with him, but then you start to disagree with him on like some of his more extreme views, he will demonize you and attack you.
Yeah, I've gotten that sense too.
So for example, when I defended the JCPOA, for example, he went on a Twitter tirade for like 2 weeks, arguing that I'm like an Iran bootlicker. He was basically attacking me for several weeks because I disagreed with him. Because I personally believe that war should always be a last resort. It should always be a last resort. You should exercise all diplomatic options first.
Yes, that is the realist view. That's just the intelligent view in general. That's common sense.
But because I supported, I think the JCPOA was the best we could do in terms of diplomacy, and I think we should pursue a more positive relationship with Iran, at least for now, until the Ayatollahs are overthrown, which they will be, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure they will be overthrown very soon.
I don't think it will never democratize, though, but it could liberalize slightly.
Sure, definitely, but yeah, because I disagree with him on the JCPOA, I disagreed with his notion of we should bomb nuclear facilities. He basically thought of me as like a traitor. He called me a terrorist because of my stance on BLM. He's just I don't want to say he's a narcissist because he's clearly displayed like empathy. He's insecure. Like I don't want to say he's a narcissist, but he behaves. He reminds me of my narcissistic ex-girlfriend in some regards.
Is this the one that you're telling me about yesterday?
Yeah. I don't want to get into it here, but yeah.
Rip.
Yeah, then I really kind of regret going on and debating him. I would just really, really bored. I'm just like, oh my gosh, he's giving him so much shit. I want to see what happened if I tried talking to him. That's kind of a big mistake because the moderator did absolutely pretty much jack shit. I mean, I had never debated anyone ever in my entire life.
Never?
But I don't think I did too terrible for never debating anyone in my entire life before. I mean,
yeah. How was it? If it was a debate? I forget. So I never watched yours. Was it more of a? Was it actually a debate, or was it more of a blood sport?
Then a debate. I mean, the only reason I regret going on this channel because it threatened my security.
Yeah, you shouldn't have showed your.
Yeah, that was dumb. It was like 1:30 a.m. I was like, I don't regret defending my boyfriend, of course not. But I mean, I just regret like showing my face and stuff. That was dumb of me to do. But yeah, and now he's like saying, "Oh, I drove her to tears." No, you didn't.
That was petty on Kevin's part. Talking about
that's how I talk. I mean, if I was in tears, I mean, I am very white. You would see that on my face. You would see that my face is getting red because I would be getting red if I was upset because I am very white. That shows up really easily.
So that's just when you got to go with the NoFX song, the "Don't Call Me White." Oh my god!
I think I've done that before.
But yeah.
But I mean, that's just naturally the way you talk, though. He was saying you were constantly on the brink of tears.
Exactly.
That's another reason why I say
I want to make. I'm not like upset. I'm just. It made me just really get kind of frustrated that he was kind of playing off that. I'm just like, are you kidding me? Oh my god!
That's the thing.
Like, oh my gosh, you're such an asshole.
Exactly. Here's the thing. Kevin seems to be very delusional. Like, again, I'm not going to call him a narcissist, but he seems to have like a delusion of grandeur. Like, he thinks that he absolutely destroyed Based Waifu and almost brought her to tears, and he was bragging about almost making her cry. Like, he's so delusional, and to some extent he's also kind of sadistic that he's taking pleasure in making a woman who's defending her boyfriend cry. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
It depends on what your goal is, man. Like, if you are like ideologically opposed to somebody, like vehemently ideologically opposed, then the correct answer is true victory is to demonstrate to your opponent why it was wrong to oppose you in the first place, right? And if you attack the person to the point where they fall in on themselves mentally, then if that's your goal, then you've won, right?
The problem is that Kevin didn't do that. He did the opposite.
Yeah.
He made himself look like a buffoon.
Oh gosh, did you know what happened after that? Oh my gosh. So I sent this final message. It's supposed to be the final message. The last time I was going to interact with Kevin. That was my plan, at least. And I basically told him that he was an insecure douchebag, and that I understand. Like, I know, I mean, we're in the same boat. I mean, we're both graduated political science majors. I know how hard it is to, like, I tried to relate with him, and I was just like, but here's the thing. I have people that like me. I have 22,000 subscribers. I speak 3 languages. People like me. I very few people. And then what he did, he was just like, okay, so she has more subscribers, but the thing is, she barely even posts. Like, what? She doesn't even post once a week. I post every day. And then he just like literally admitted that he prefers quantity over quality. It's just like, okay, no, I'd rather wait like a month to watch somebody's like video that they put a lot of effort into if it's entertaining than watch boring ass hour-long content every single day. The boring ass content that you pump out 5 videos a day actually hits the YouTube algorithms pretty hard. So like it all kind of depends on what your that all kind of depends on what your goal is. But here's the thing:
it's about priorities, really. Like Kevin told me.
Yeah.
Kevin
I used to
told
pump
me
out videos once a week. That would still get picked up by the algorithm. The algorithm, like, absolutely loved it, even when I just did once a week. That was enough.
Okay, I have to ask you guys this question, since we're on the topic of prioritizing so we can get monetized. Kevin says he told Ray Murasame that he wants to achieve 1 million subscribers by 2040 when he's going to be in his 50s. Do you think he can manage that?
No.
No.
He will not do that.
Is it Liberty Sanity Project?
Liberal Insanity Project? Is that what you say? Hello?
Did Politicrat die?
No, I'm here.
I was like worried. Like, what did I say?
No. I thought we were continuing. I'm sorry.
No, I was asking you what you said. A liberal insanity project?
No, I said liberal sanity project. Or did he say? Okay. Anyway, let's continue.
Oh yeah, and now he's like trying to break us up. It's just like he's trying to say that his girlfriend's is gonna totally cheat on him and totally cuck him for another guy within like 3 months. I'm just like, oh yeah, you fucking wish, bitch. Oh,
I don't know, maybe.
Feeling like Kevin might have had a crush on me or something. Because I think that's the main explanation of why he.
I mean, you're a girl. I mean, you're like a girl.
A girl on the internet. Yeah.
You're a girl on the internet. Like you should expect that.
But you know, like Kevin is doing.
Okay, you shouldn't have showed.
You shouldn't
have showed your face because I feel like that makes it. I don't know.
See, I'm happy. I'm happy. See, the
Like,
best part about this, right? Hold on, let me step in here. The best part about this is I know I'm an ugly fucking chud, right? Which means
You're
I
not
can just
ugly.
be
You're
the.
not ugly.
Well, shut up! You're ruining my
You're
whole
fat.
fucking.
You're
shtick.
not ugly though.
Shut up! You're ruining my shtick. I'm an ugly fucking chud, right? So I could just be a gigantic piece of shit to people. I just happen to be right. So, like,
You're worse than me. I'm just kidding. I have to say this though. Kevin's doing all of this because of simple, like, completely minute disagreements, and because he thought that Shoe on Head gave Kevin's ideology bad. I'm sorry, that because of Shoe on Head, MMI just randomly gave his ideology bad optics.
But it does. No, it gives it even worse optics than it
yeah, but
already
he's
is.
just. I mean, he's just totally deluded for thinking we're gonna like break up because of this bullshit. That's just dumb. Like, oh my gosh.
Speaking of potential reasons,
He's saying
to be mad. Speaking of
disgusting things about us.
Okay, hold on. Interrupt. Speaking of things that would be legitimate causes of concern as far as relationships are concerned, at least if I found out that like somebody I was dating was like saying these things. Either way, these things are not. This is not geared towards MMI specifically. I'm saying this more in the context of whether it should have been brought up in the debate or not, but the racism allegations.
All right. Actually, Volt actually contacted me like during the break between the streams.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, Volt doesn't think what MMI said was racist. I mean, I would think it's racist, but apparently Volt, the person that was directed towards, doesn't. Which
and Volt is in chat too.
It's one of those things, like those statements, right? Like, first off,
you make me want to join the KKK. That's pretty racist.
Yeah, I think that's racist, but for some reason, apparently he didn't get offended by it. I mean, that's your thing.
Objectively, that's a racist statement, right? Here's the thing, right? Whether or not someone actually takes it out of like enjoys the joke, right? Like that's two separate things. I can laugh at a joke that I think is fucking funny, but I can also acknowledge the fact that it is racist, crass, edgy, and offensive, right? I just happen to have a really good sense of humor about that type of shit because I think that the people who are offended are fucking hilarious.
You know what? What's kind of funny is that MMI.
I think
he started being active.
Can I say something? I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure this situation happened like, I mean, I'm a little bit skeptical of the evidence because MMI kind of goes by a different name on that server. But I mean, if it did happen, then I think didn't this go down? Like, when exactly did this go down? Like during the summer?
I don't know. For some reason, MMI and Volt just did not get along. Like, they just did not like each other for a while. And the thing is, I have to say this, and these are two things.
I mean, I want to talk about the whole Spooky Nukies thing later because that's something
two things. Two things.
That is because Kevin defending him is absolutely disturbing. But anyways,
two things.
If that did happen, if that did happen, it might have been before like we were ready to get serious because because like when we really got serious, I smacked that behavior out of him.
Good.
But Politicrat. So two things. So first of all, so when this was brought up twice during the debate, he claimed you wanted to declare what happened irrelevant because you yourself were making racist jokes, making the bots say racist stuff. How do you respond to that? And also, do you think Kevin?
Yeah. Okay. No, that's not why. I mean, definitely it made me feel uncomfortable for that. First of all, the only remotely I don't talk like that. I don't think I've ever said. I think I've only ever said the N-word 2 times in my life.
That's because you're a pussy.
Yeah. No. You know what? You're completely right. You're completely right. I'm not even gonna. But yeah, no. But so
thing is, but it also wasn't relevant to the discussion. I wasn't.
No,
aware
I
of any-
absolutely agree.
No,
with
it's
you on
also
that.
because it's also because I was the moderator,
Mhm.
and regardless, the moderator should never be dragged into that sort of thing, or else I'm.
It depends
or
on
else-
how shitty that person believes the moderator is, right? Like Donald Trump's whole entire like idea on how to debate, right, is to attack everybody, right? Go on the offense. The moderator, the fucking opponent, the cameraman, the sound guy, the guy who did the makeup, the fucking crowd, chair everybody, right? It doesn't fucking matter. The whole idea is if you're going to walk in there and throw your dick on the table, right? You got to walk in there and throw your dick on the fucking table and say, come and get me, fuckheads. Like, it all kind of depends on what your debate strategy is.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I do want to ask this very quickly, Politicrat. Do you think Kevin sort of betrayed your trust by sharing those screenshots without your permission? Because you did not mean malicious intent when you shared those screenshots with Kevin, right?
No, not at all. He just asked for screenshots, and I was like, okay. I just wasn't thinking when I sent them to him. Like, I think I was on break.
But you
at
didn't
work.
mean for you didn't want
No.
those screenshots publicly shared. He violated your trust, right?
I mean, I didn't know what he was going to do with them, and I didn't anticipate what he was going to do. I wouldn't go as far as saying he betrayed my trust because I don't know what I was like. I don't even know why he wanted them. I was just like, okay, whatever. So I wouldn't say he betrayed my trust. I would say that like I'm kind of skeptical. I'd be skeptical in the future to ever like tell him certain things again. But like I wouldn't say he betrayed my trust. And this is also you, Kronos. I'm going to blame you too for trying to drag me into this whole thing. Because part of me in hindsight regrets moderating it, especially if I knew I literally stayed up all night to moderate this debate for you guys. And then, so I'm fine with this at first. I started by getting shit on by Kevin's audience
Yeah.
when we do it on his channel. It's like, okay, I get it. They're just plebes. They're here for the blood sports, blah, 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 blah. And then when it's over, MMI Salty at the Shadow Jury declared him winner, or Kevin winner, and he's trying to convince MMI like literally wants to have a 2-hour conversation with me on trying to convince me of why he actually won. And it's like, okay, dude, come on. And then you, Coronis, start badgering me to get even more and more and more involved, and you were literally becoming obsessed.
I apologize. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean
No, it's fine. It's fine. And then this is also what pissed me off. So, and then Kevin was being very petty on the, and he didn't know I was watching. This was on the after show of, I think it was like after the debate, and he said something about me wearing the Crusader helmet. Yeah, I was basically like not shit screening is their equivalent to shit posting, where you just like it was like the visual equivalent of shit posting. Plus, I wanted to hide my face. I was wearing a fucking Crusader helmet. And then Kevin like blurts out, "Oh, that was so cringe!" And then he starts like shitting on me for wearing that. Like for literally spent like 2 minutes just doing that, and it was like he didn't realize that I was watching, and he was kind of embarrassed actually when I commented like that I'm here. But what I didn't like is I never got a single thank you from MMI or Kevin Castley after it happened for doing that for them. I mean, Kevin said, like, sort of did. He was like, thanks for coming on or something. But, like, specifically for taking my time to go and moderate. Like, I don't know. I kind of feel underappreciated for that. I know it was my first time and everything. But still, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, like, I mean, I just don't. Yeah, and then I just didn't appreciate what Kevin was what he was saying on the show. And I mean, to be fair, he did, in hindsight, give me a shout out last night at the end of his stream. So I appreciate him for that. However, I do think that I think Hungry Country Ball probably prompted him to do that. Either way, I mean, it's fine. I don't have anything. I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at MMI. It's just that I didn't want to get us in. I did not want to get as deep into this as I ended up getting. But yeah. Anyway, so Voltaire says something about Mr. Dapperton. Was it Mr. Dapperton involved somehow in this?
Who is Mr. Dapperton?
An ANCAP YouTuber.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
How's he related to this, guys? Coronas?
Huh?
Mr. Dapperton, how is he related to this?
I honestly,
Didn't are you sure MMI didn't thank you, Politicrat? I thought he did.
ask MMI. Ask MMI.
Yeah, I thought he said so on the Discord server. I'm pretty sure I saw it.
Is there anything? Yeah. Is this it, by the way? And
is there anything else we need to cover? I feel like there's a couple more things.
Okay.
Well, I said I feel like there's a couple more things. Is everybody else?
Here.
Yeah, I think I said what I needed to say.
There's something I think I might want to address.
Okay.
By the way, I do want to say this, Politicrat. I was mad about those screenshots of MMI. I was upset over that because I thought that was like a betrayal of trust. But I realized it was not your fault, really. And I apologize. I didn't mean to drag you into the drama further than you needed to. That was not my intention. And I sincerely apologize.
Yeah, I don't think MMI wanted to drag you in either. I don't think that was intention.
I mean, I only got involved in this because I think that neoliberalism is superior to what Kevin advocates for. So it's an ideological thing. For me.
Modern neoliberalism is complete trash. I like 80s neoliberalism, but even modern neoliberalism, I think, is better what Kevin's wealth capitalism stuff.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure MMI didn't have any intentions to drag you into the drama.
I'm not saying either of them did. They could have just been caught up in the moment or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, I kind of would like to say something about what Kevin's kind of saying about my relationship, saying that, oh my gosh, you're done. Oh my gosh. He's like, yeah, okay, Kevin, I get that you have a crush on me, but I'm not breaking up with my boyfriend.
He also said last night something about oh yeah, it's not like they're going to be together in 50 years. I mean,
I'm pretty serious with my boyfriend. I mean, we've really been through a lot together. I mean, I'm sorry for getting a little personal, but I mean, he even saved me from a really bad relationship. And we've just been through so much together. And I think Kevin thinks we're going to just split apart over something like this. I mean, he's fucking delusional.
I mean, listen, like after this stream, unless Kevin addresses something that I said, unless he personally addresses me, I'm done. Like after this, I'm done with the drama. I think everyone should just ignore Kevin. Let him try to obtain 1 million subscribers by 2040. But the guy's a man-child, and I think it's best if we just ignore him. That's
I will never invite either of you onto the same stream. So I'll be sure to do that.
That's.
I'm still because because I still on a personal level I don't have very much against Kevin. He's been really good on my streams. He and Outreamer, who's Dark Enlightenment, neo-reactionary type, who I'm friends with in real life. They've been having a really productive dialogue so far on trying to build the ultimate like Frankenstein's monster of ideologies. Basically, neoconservative foreign policy plus neo-reactionary domestic policy. So
that's fucking that's based as fuck.
It's actually probably best if you didn't have me and Kevin on the same stream, because that would turn into like hideous blood sports that not even.
Okay, but I will say, if Kevin and MMI, if you guys are listening out there, you guys probably won't want to have a structured debate, because that's what I thought you guys asked for. So I put work into doing that. But but either way, if you guys ever want to have blood sports again, I will come and moderate, because god damn, is that hilarious.
Do you even really need to moderate blood sports?
No, I know, but I just want to be there.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that like after this stream, I'm essentially done with the drama, and I'm just going to move on to more important matters, because this drama for the past 2 weeks has been really time consuming, and it's like friends have been turned against each other over something that's ridiculous.
It's shoe on head.
Shoe on head.
Yeah. over shoe on head. Friends have been turned against each other. We have people trying to dig up dirt on each other. Like, this is ridiculous. This is absurd. All because of a fucking Canadian man-child. I'm sorry. After this stream, I'm going to ignore Kevin.
Because of I think it's I thought we were blaming shoe on head.
Oh, I mean, I think Kevin's response is...
To be fair, Kevin and shoe on head...
You don't want to call down the wrath of 50 billion simps by
Fair
talking
enough.
shit about shoe on head. I
Let's
am an
face it.
asshole, and even I don't want to do that.
Like 90% of our audience are simps. And they started simping so hard ever since she broke up with Greg.
Oh, yeah. Like, I actually kind of feel bad for Armored Skeptic because it was obvious.
Skeptic?
I mean, those two were together for like years.
They were engaged. They were about to get married, and then
They
COVID
broke
happened.
up? Oh, that's kind of sad.
I actually really feel bad for Armored Skeptic. I feel for him, man.
Well,
But-
but he is a
All
tall.
I'm saying is, and this will be my last statement. After this, I'm done with Kevin. I'm going to ignore him and move on to more important things in my life. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna continue to ignore Kevin and just not give him any attention. I mean, I know he's gonna continue to drool over me.
Dude, he's going to respond to this video. He's going to respond to segments of
I
this
know
video.
he will. I know he will. I absolutely know he will.
And I give him permission if he wants. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna like get mad if he does. I mean, because we're responding to stuff on his channel. As long as he agrees to it. Like, I support him making any responses he wants to this video. However, if he's going to make responses to his video, I'd like him to do it respectfully. That's my only request. If he's watching.
There's a quick question I kind of wanted to ask, because this is something. I mean, this is kind of completely off topic. I just kind of want to get all of your perspectives on it, like, because this seems to be ultimately also a divide, not just against elitism versus populism, but like against globalism in general. So I kind of want to know, like, I mean,
Globalist elite, globalist demon baby eating elite. There.
Off the topic of the drama, I kind of want to know where each of you all like stand when it comes to globalism.
Well, define globalism. When you say globalism,
Don't be a shithead about this. I'll actually.
do you mean like the Jews? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, shut up! For God's
Yes,
sake.
actually, now that I think about populism versus globalism, can be boiled down to elitism versus populism if you do think about it. But
Yeah. So essentially, to me, when I hear the term globalism, right, it's the idea that a country should have to sacrifice a little bit of its autonomy to play nice with its neighbors, right? And on a like a 10,000 foot view, that kind of seems like a good idea, right? But when you engage in that type of conversation and that thought, you have to kind of look at it like, what is the benefits that the country that either country is getting out of it, right? And when we look at the entire spectrum of things that has benefited the United States by us participating in the global economy and things like that, what we run into is an exportation of jobs, a stagnation of.
Hey guys, I gotta go. I'll see you. Thanks for inviting me.
Hey, hold on. We're gonna be going at in 4 minutes.
Yeah, but I have to go anyway. I apologize, but thank you for inviting me here. It was great. I want to join more of your streams in the future. Actually, this was fun.
Okay.
yeah.
See ya.
It's a stagnation of wages, right? And an exploitation of labor in other countries to facilitate consumer culture in the United States, right? All of those end up as a detrimental effect of American society. So if that's the thing that we get in return for us participating in the global economy, fuck that. I'd much rather just go it alone and say, fuck you guys. We're going to focus on what's going on in the United States first.
Okay. So in terms of globalism, when I hear globalism, first of all, I see it as like a really like nebulous term thrown around by people on like the right doing different things. But when I think of globalism, I think of like one world government. I am not for one world government.
I mean, the only time I'd ever support potential of a one world government is when we start colonizing the stars, like beyond the solar system and stuff. In which case, a one world government might be needed, but as it stands right now, no. However, what I am for is globalization, interconnected trade, that sort of thing. I think people who oppose globalization are fucking cucks, and just and
You can call me a cuck if you want, but like
no, I'm talking about free trade. I'm talking about like
Yeah.
international trade. I'm not talking about one world government. I mean,
well, right, but I am kind of talking about the idea of free trade, right? Because
I mean,
when
so
we
wait, are you not a classical liberal anymore? Because you can't be a classical liberal and oppose free trade. Mutually exclusive.
That's not true. You can hold ideas of protectionist ideas in your own state because you believe that the national identity is a transcendent one that is beneficial for your.
But you can you can't call yourself a classical liberal. That you're some kind of liberal, but you can't really call yourself a classical liberal in the vein of like Adam Smith or something.
Well, I mean the regimes of 18th century Europe were all very mercantilist, and they were still very liberal. So
yeah, no, that 19th century, starting with the UK or starting with Great Britain, they abolished mercantilism, moved to free trade, specifically the United Kingdom.
Because that would benefit them. Because they're the only industrialized country in the world.
Because the thing is, mercantilism was becoming a net drain on
it's kind of like America's game with like Colombia and all those other countries. Like, oh hey, sign a free trade agreement with us. And, you know, American products like flood into like these third world countries.
I do admit, okay, so basically, I'm not particularly against some forms of protectionism. Maybe if it's like, for instance, I wouldn't have been like as opposed to the trade war that Donald Trump started if it was just with China, because, you know, fuck China, fuck the Chinese.
Right, exactly, yeah.
No, but like, we don't need to be putting tariffs on Europe, Canada, or Mexico. That's nonsense. That's absolute nonsense.
So the European thing, I can kind of understand that a little bit. So the European Union, when you actually kind of dig down into it, right, again, has been taking advantage of the United States.
How?
Number one is, I think, if I remember correctly, there is a situation where international flights incoming from the United States to any European country has a higher gas. There's some sort of tariff that that makes the cost higher, right? For some reason, I don't remember exactly what it is. And then any of the internal ones within those states in the European Union are less costly, right? So like leaving the European Union to go to the United States is like a less costly flight, but our flights coming in are more costly to our citizens. And
are they more costly? They're more costly. I'm sorry, that was bad.
Yeah. But when you start looking at these type of trade deals, right? America has been getting like the free trade agreement with Mexico caused a labor drain by shipping manufacturing.
Actually, can I stop you right here because I wanted to actually say something. So
go ahead. I'm sorry.
So we're going on to a completely different thing. However, I have been planning for the next political pigpen, which I'm either going to be having tomorrow or on Thursday. You guys are all invited if you want to come, and same with Bolt, because I told Voltaire he could come on my next one. The subject is actually already nationalism versus globalism.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
I would enjoy that one.
So
that sounds like a lot of fun.
So tomorrow probably going to be around 10 p.m. So it's going to be starting around this time tomorrow. For you guys, so like Base, George, Animation, Voltaire, all invited to that. We might be having also Outreamer on and Ray Murasami. So yeah, but either way, so we need to move towards the end. Let's just do final thoughts on two things. We'll do like two parts.
I'll just give my thoughts on globalism.
No. Final thoughts number one. Final thoughts number one on the debate itself. Thought number two on the fucking stupid drama.
I'll go ahead and start.
Let George start.
Go ahead, George.
Okay, so I think globalism's fucked.
No. Not global. Not globalism. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Okay, well, anyway, so the debate, I mean, Castley won. I mean, even even if MMI or whatever his name is came out here and like gave a convincing argument as to why his positions were correct, Castley, it's not even like it's not even rational at that point. Like he just went chimp mode on MMI. I'm sorry, MMI did not look good during the debate. So in terms of like winning the debate, Castley won. And I guess regarding the drama, I don't care if they're like antisocial people in your life. Just like ignore them and cut them off. Especially if you're in like fringe political positions. If you're in also, yeah, and when I say fringe political positions, when I mean like unpopular political positions, like being pro-globalist or pro-corporatist or pro-neoliberal or pro-elitist, you want to distance yourself from antisocial people just for like the optics of it. So, yeah, that's my perspective, being, I think, the furthest emotionally and socially from the present events.
So
Damnation's pretty much in the same position you are, too.
yeah, no, dude, I have one thought for both positions. Cringe and gay. Next.
A base waifu.
Okay. Well, I mean, you've already heard my thoughts about the debate as a whole, but I used to kind of think like along the lines of like how Kevin thought. I think that I used to think that well, it used to be a lot more conservative, and I used to think, globalism bad and stuff like that. But when I met MMI, he kind of showed me a bit of a different perspective on U.S. intervention and everything. Basically, I mean, recently I've been talking about the concept of American exceptionalism, and he kind of made me realize that just because someone is American, it doesn't mean they should really receive special treatment. I mean,
yeah, only the global elites.
And Kevin as a Canadian doesn't. I would say I'm not sure if he really knows what Americans have to.
No, the thing is, Kevin. At least, I mean, maybe he will if he ever becomes a citizen.
Yeah,
or
but he doesn't know what we.
No, but in the odd chance that Kevin, for whatever reason in the future, suddenly decides, okay, I want to be an American, move to the U.S. That sort of thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
He has a chance of being able to understand that, but there's like sort of this deep metaphysical connection that people within a nation have to their nation. They can spiritually kind of understand it, so to speak. So. Yeah. I mean, Kevin does not Kevin doesn't understand, like, in terms of America, Kevin does not understand what the four of us understand about it, just on a deeper sort of spiritual, metaphysical level.
Honestly, I think he does belong in the South. I think he'll fit in well with the rednecks. But anyways, I mean,
okay, I wouldn't say I wouldn't word it like that. No, but he definitely has.
I'm kidding. Yeah.
He definitely has a very. I'd say he has like that more, and he'll outright admit this. But he has that. He has a very like Calvinist kind of mentality.
Yeah,
I'd say. So I think he would fit in well here. So, yeah, and especially the whole working class thing, the Protestant work ethic. I think I mentioned that in the last part. But yeah, anyway.
We've been talking. Anyways, I'm not sure he understands what Americans have to sacrifice so the rest of the world can be safe. American exceptionalism means that America should be like a light for the world, and it is its duty for the U.S. to keep the world as peaceful as possible and bring democratic and capitalistic values to as much of the world as possible. But in order to have the money to do that, Americans give up a lot of things like affordable health care, many welfare properties, and our soldiers, etc. I mean, we sacrifice ourselves both at home and abroad so that everyone else can have a better life, because our country was founded on these values that, well, not only just Christian values, but the premise that everyone has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And
black.
and unlike Kevin, MMI and I do not think that should just be limited to like the U.S. and Canada. Everyone, doesn't matter what. Just because you're American doesn't mean that you should be the only person. You should be or Canadian doesn't mean that only you should be entitled to that. We want to make we want to bring that to as many people as possible, and that's why, and that's what made me that's what really made me like change my view on like U.S. intervention and globalism and everything.
Were you like pretty far right before this?
Oh, I used to work for Turning Point USA.
Cringe.
I know, I was a cringe conservative.
Okay, so no, that's called it's called a boomer con. Basically, you're basically anybody who works for TPUSA or PragerU or anything, no matter what age they are, they're what I call an epistemological boomer. So even if they're not a boomer, they are still epistemologically a boomer in terms of their mindset. They're sort of
Anyways,
so, yeah. We'll talk about it after the stream. We're going to be chatting in my my Discord.
Anyways, that kind of mentality really made me the fact that he really kind of pulled me out of that kind of mindset is part of why I really love my boyfriend. In the end, I love my boyfriend. And Kevin, I know you're going to take this video out of context, and I can't stop that. But please stop telling your followers to make sexually degrading comments towards me. I love my boyfriend. I'm not breaking up with him. Stop being so rude. Thank you.
And on that note, thank you everybody for tuning in. We laughed, we cried, we cringed, all that. But either way, I hope you guys have a good evening, because we are officially done with this Mickey Mouse bullshit.